afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for the 20th week of 2024. And it's late. I'm sorry, I haven't been very well. So the other night at knitting, Jill was wearing like a pink t-shirt that was plain stocking stitch on the front, and it had like a little picot edge and a little keyhole here and a lace back. She can't remember what the pattern was, but it was out of a magazine, I think. But it was one of those occasions when you knit something and you finish it and then you don't wear it for ages and ages and ages, and then suddenly you'll put it on and think, oh, it's all right, this. I've done that before. So she was working on her cotton top. Actually, she was nattering more than she was knitting, but during the week she'll do a lot of knitting and catch up with what she wasn't knitting because she was nattering. That makes sense. Helen has returned from her adventures in Holland, and she brought her acquisitions along and showed us. She was working on her another lap blanket, which is done in a shell stitch and some really striking colour combination, like aubergine and lime. Very nice. Danielle was there, and she's knitted so far on a blanket, a baby blanket, and it's got bubbles, like polka dots, polka bubbles, so they're evenly spaced. And her wool is from kind of a cheapy store, but the colours are lovely and it's ideal. Well, it's not wool, it's acrylic, I think. It's ideal for baby things, baby knitting, but she can't find any more. So she's been to that store in various places, and hopefully she'll find one, be able to finish it off. I am drinking chai, which is chai in every language. So that's quite straightforward, isn't it? I think some teas I can only drink when I can't really taste them properly. It's not, chai is a bit not my thing. It's a bit too spicy. So Daniela was also making another baby blanket with sort of another pink that had variegated colours in it. Little pops of colour here and there. And that was more of like maybe a double knit or an Aran or something like that. And I'm not quite sure what the pattern was going to be, but she'd only just cast on a circular needle. I was working on my ugly cat shawl. I have 8 rows left to do. And my I-cord cast off, which will take me a while, and I have to sew some ends in. It'll get used for something. So that's nearly done, and then, well, we'll all see what I do next. The cat's fine. It's getting quite vocal, actually. The fish pond. Pond life. Bit of a disaster. Somebody suggested that I turn my glove. When I was on knit night, somebody in the comments suggested I turned one of the gloves inside out to make it a right hand, so I'd have a right hand and a left hand. But when I tried to do that, it was all cotton lining on the inside, so that would have just got really soggy, wouldn't it, and not been very nice at all. So I have resorted to... I'll just go and get them, actually, because I need to tell you about these. Because my ball was stuck round my ankle. I'm back. So, the fish pond. Well, it has a pump, doesn't it, that's supposed to oxygenate the water and mix it all up and make it all nice. But because the glove wasn't like, I couldn't feel anything and it wasn't doing very well, then when I did get this out, my usual tool, scooped underneath the bottom, got piles of black sludge and leaves out of the bottom of the pond. So really the pump was just mixing all of that round the water, and the water was going greener. So I haven't seen that much of my fish yet, and neither has Millie the cat. She likes to play with fish on my iPad. So when she sees them for real, I don't know what she's going to do. She might end up in the pond. And this I bought from one of those funny advert thingies you see online. And it's like a non-scratch scraper for scraping, cleaning things. It's very good on the air fryer that's got a non-stick coating on it, so things do stick to it. But it doesn't scratch it. Well, around the edges of the pond there's kind of pond weeds, and it's like stuck to the plastic. And I use a varying amount of things I've thought of, like a hairbrush and a pot scrubbing brush. But this is good. This scrapes the side of the plastic. So it's a combination of these two at the moment, and green water eliminator. And then when I finish with the green water eliminator, then I think I can use something else. One of my other concoctions. As for animal antics, a few weeks ago, Tim found a hedgehog that wasn't looking very well. A wild hedgehog. Because when they're out in the day, especially at the beginning of the season, it usually indicates that they're not very well if you see them when it's not night, because they're quite nocturnal, as you probably know. Anyway, he brought it home, and I found a number for a lady. We gave it some cat food with Fur Boost gravy on it, that when we feed Millie and put the food down, if it's just food, she looks at us until we put some gravy on. She has this special gravy. She's absolutely spoiled to death. So we gave the hedgehog some cat food and some gravy. And, well, we should have probably put him in the greenhouse, but the lady came to collect him. She said he was cold, a bit cold, and dehydrated, and they treated him for internal parasites, and he's quite shy, and they called him Derek. Anyhow, she got in touch with me the other day and said Derek's better now. He's ready to be released. And she had seen our garden, which I should show you more of, really, because it's really... Every time I try and do that, I've got washing on the line. I think, oh, I'll just take a photograph of that beautiful lilac, and then there's washing on the line. There's the pond. sweet peas. Clematis montana. Smells like ice creams. Ice cream. We're having a battle with aphids on the roses. That one shouldn't be that shape. Maybe some mint. Jasmine. Dog rose. Orange scented bush that's been hacked back. Honeysuckle. Medlar. This is my new medlar tree, where we had the other tree that fell down. I planted that. Turties. That's another jasmine. And then this one. This is called clotted cream, this one. It's a big strong plant. That's a box. Acer. Back through the arch. So that's like an outside room. Another Acer with my box. I love the box at this time of year. Lovely. Water bud. That's a big white lily. And then we've got, I think these are more lilies. A collegia. A lonesome zucchini courgette plant. Look at that. It's just dazzling. I think this one's a slightly different colour. These are the tomato plants. This is my advent calendar. So some of them have gone because they've been planted in the garden. There's a great big spider lives in there. Sweet peas need planting out. Cosmos, I think. Daughter's cosmos. So it's our lockdown greenhouse. That's a clematis that's going up that tree. And that building there is next doors. And we've got the water supply. Which I thought was a good idea, so I asked him when he was building it, can we have your water supply? It all drains off into our water butt. Lockdown greenhouse. Well, once we could go out, but I wasn't working a lot. Needs tidying. Eucalyptus. Lettuce. Strawberries. Currants. Sage. There's an Acer, Sweet William. Ceanothus. Two different ones arching over the pond because I was trying to shade it. There's not enough sun today, really, to get me bubbler going. Their nasturtium. They were out in my advent calendar. Some border plants at each end. That block of wood's off the beach. I think it's off a ship. I think that's aniseed. Fennel, that's it. But you eat the bulb, but you can actually eat the leaves, and they do taste nice. I often pick a bit of leaf and chew it. So we've got peas and sticks to keep the pigeons off. More currants. They're going to be currants there. This is a rambling rose. The red leaves are on another rose. Like I don't know what you'd call that. I don't know what they all are. And I think we're back to these enormous clematis. So you notice, around the arch, that's my sewing room up there. And my box. And Emily's Christmas tree that she's very proud of because it's got new branches growing. So it's going to be a bigger tree. Another acer. Veronica. Sea holly. Cherries. A rose. This is a dwarf plum in a pot. Oh, struggles a bit. I need to find out what to do about that. Louisia. And hazel that's had it. Some rockery alpine. This plant here had a really bonny flower on it, and I've just found the seed head and sprinkled them all in here, so they should be nice when they come up. And the starlings nest in there every year, and the young ones are about to come out and fledge. But we might not do that while I'm stood here, so I'm going to go in. So the lilac's finished now anyway. But Derek came back and we kept him in his box on the table until the sun went down and it was getting dusk. And then we let him out. Tim got him out of the box and put him on the grass. And he stayed there for quite a while. And then he scuttled off. And then we'd been crouching for that long trying to get footage and photographs that we went in. And when we came out, back out, he'd disappeared, typically. Which one's the bomb? Yeah. In there somewhere. Oh, look at the baby. Oh, it's like a sea urchin. I thought it looked like a prickly Easter egg. It doesn't look good. Will he move with us here? I don't know. they're kind of shy, and they freeze if you're near. They freeze, and then when you look away, they go. Because I've seen them before. I've seen them quite a lot around here. And one day I was sitting in the garden. There was all this rustling, and it was late on a Sunday afternoon. I'd been doing a lot of gardening, and I sat down in the corner, and all this rustling came round the garden, and I thought, what is this? What is this coming? And I thought, well, it must be a hedgehog. And I had my feet up on the other chair, so the hedgehogs didn't know I was there at all. And there was an adult went past, and right behind it there was a little one following it, and they went like right underneath where my chair was. And it was one of them moments that you never forget. They're cute, very cute. I hope Derek is still around, because I could really do with him eating a few slugs and snails out of my garden. I went in the greenhouse the other night, and well, he wouldn't get up on the bench, would he? But there was a big snail on the seed trays, and there was one on each side. I also had 2 courgette plants, which I think are zucchinis. I quite like that word, but it's nothing like courgette. They're nothing like each other, are they, them words? I had 2, and then something came along and just chopped one off, so I've only got 1 now. I am wearing, something that I don't wear very often, because I just think it's scruffy. And it's actually Rowan Lima, which is mostly alpaca. And the pattern is Skylark by Kim Hargreaves, which is in the Cherished book. And looks way better there on that model. I mean, it's really soft and warm and sloppy and bobbly, and I think this was the second thing I made with it. Yeah, is that a pull or a bobble? This is the second thing I made with it, because it just wasn't very successful, and they did discontinue it. I mean, it's nicely coloured. I don't know if you can see. It's got different colours through it, but look at the bobbles on it. And I've only worn it a handful of times. I just wear it sort of when I need to grab something warm. As you can see, everything sticks to it as well. Now we've got a little mystery. And so Helen's obviously my reporter in the field, and Jill is investigating a mystery. The mystery is at another group, we were told that there is a new wool shop in a nearby town. So Jill drove past, and she didn't see anything, and then I hit Google and found a craft shop, and that might be it. So she's going to go and investigate further. So I think I've told you everything I need to tell you. So more news, maybe, next week.